Good morning. It's time for an Ask Misty. And this Ask Misty came from a live question. I was doing a fireside chat for a young adult or young college group. I guess it was kind of like a GSA. And I was invited to a local South Florida campus. I would never record a video of me doing a corporate training. That would be a private, closed space. But I'm going to repeat this question. One of the young adults asked if you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, what would you say? What I didn't say first, I'll say, if I could go back to 10 years old on a time machine and stay there, I would, and I had the brain I have now, I would convince my parents that I was trans and I would beg for testosterone blockers so that I wouldn't have the voice I have today, so that I wouldn't have gone through male puberty and had to spend so much money on laser hair removal, male pattern baldness, things like that. But what I actually said to these young adults was this. And I didn't give them an age, but I said, if I could go back in time and speak to my younger self, I would say to me, you are valuable. You are beautiful. And you are loved. And I said a couple other things, and I started to get emotional. And when I am a public speaker, I give 100% of myself, authentic, real me. And sometimes I get emotional on stage. I don't like it. I try not to. But occasionally somebody asks a question that I wasn't prepared for or haven't said. When you have secrets and hold shame in your heart or your soul, those words that you refuse to say out loud hold power over you. And sometimes when you talk about them, that power is relevant and felt and relived. But I was stalling because I was tearing up. And I said, does anybody here have a $20 bill? And it took them a second to find a $20 bill, and somebody held it up. And I said, I am going to give it back to you, I promise. But can I hold it? So I took the $20 bill from this person. And I held it up in front of everybody. And I said, who here wants this $20 bill? And nobody raised their hand because they obviously knew it was somebody else's $20 bill. And I said, I promise I'm giving it back to the person I borrowed this from. But if this was my $20 bill and I was giving it to the audience, who here would want it? 100% of the people raised their hands. And then I said, all right, what about now? I took the dollar bill and I crumpled it up. I rolled it into a teeny tiny ball, smashed it, really small. And I said, now, who here wants this $20 bill? And everyone raised their hands. And then I pretended to throw it on the ground and stomp on it and wipe it into the dirty floor. And I held it up and I said, who wants this $20 bill now? And everyone said yes. And then I pretended to spit on this $20 bill. Who here wants it now? And almost everyone raised their hand. And then I pretended to rip it. And I was actually going to rip a piece of it, but I was afraid that if I actually ripped it, it would rip all the way later. So I was like, what if I rip it? And take a piece off. Who here would still want this $20 bill? And everyone still raised their hand. So then I unfolded the dollar bill, the $20 bill, and I held it up and show it to the audience. Wrinkled, pretend dirty and spit on. and said I would look at my younger self and show my younger self and tell my younger self that you are beautiful, you are loved. And some people will attack you, some people will assault you, some people will push you down the stairs and pull your hair, and they will spit on you, and they will hit you, and they will tell you that you're worthless and you are ugly and you're disgusting. But you still have value. You are still worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of acceptance. You are worthy of health. You are worthy of peace of mind. You are worthy of respect. And you are beautiful. I would tell myself that to me as a younger person because it took me years to believe that about myself. For years, I believed I was worthless and gross and disgusting and an abomination. It took me years to love myself. And that is the important message that I would tell myself as a young person. Your views and opinions of yourself matter more than anybody else. In fact, I often say now, your opinion of me is none of my business. And if you don't pay my bills, I don't care what you think. But going back and talking to my younger self, I would absolutely send a message of love and acceptance. And if I had a time machine, I would go back and stop my male puberty because that was very expensive to get rid of. The effects of testosterone are permanent. If I could have prevented that, or at least put a pause button on it, I would have loved it. When you talk about yourself, you listen to yourself and you believe yourself. Don't talk about yourself bad. Loving you is easy.